to ban
It's
the
okay.
champions. There we go. That was what we wanted. The snappy ban from Inspire. But Kalista followed by Twisted Fate. Suno, as long as he plays for the rest of his life, apparently Twisted Fate is just going to be banned against him every game. Graves and Gangplank will also be banned away. But the problem is, usually when you have a target ban against a specific player, you can leave up something big and you can prioritize, but then they never make anything happen from those big picks.
I mean, one of the biggest problems that SK have right now is they can't rely on their 2v2. Their 2v2 bot lane just has lost pretty much every game so far. They have to ban Kalista because Vardag's, in the game that he got it, wasn't impressive on it. It just is a liability for the team, and this is going through pretty quickly. So Corki rendered out the bans with the Alistar.
It's pretty much to be expected past the Twisted Fate and Kalista coming out there, which means that will be a first pick of Lucian.
Yeah, and that's the same situation we've had. Kalista ban, Corki ban, so you want to at least get yourself what should be a winning 2v2 lane matchup with the Lucian here. Seen a lot of Lucian Janna recently, which kind of wins the matchup but doesn't win the game. Just because you need to engage potential from somewhere else. It's very strong, don't get me wrong. I just wonder now, with this SK duo setup, how are they going to fare against Woolite and Wendelbow? That is what we're going to have to answer as this game goes on.
Well, Janna's taken away, so they don't get the combination of Lucian and Janna. We saw that last time run against Hansar and Masterwork, and Hansar and Masterwork ran Vayne and Morgana against it and still won.
So, pop quiz time, Pulse.
I'm ready.
Pop
Let's
quiz.
go.
What does a Lulu and a Janna being in a game usually mean a team comp is going towards?
Protect someone?
The right answer is harding. No, it's not hard engage.
Damn.
Yeah, protect. I mean, this. If ever there was a protect the AD carry setup, first rotation, this would be it. Also, Janna Lulu is with quite a lot of things up, like Poppy was up that we've seen. Looking at other Graves' bans, so they could have looked for a jungler like the Elise, like the Nidalee. Both are up still, so SK didn't prioritize that either, but really interesting, kind of weird first rotation. I'm not sure I like it. Depends on what Inspire are going to go. Do they go for like the Trist that we've seen from Woolite before?
Maybe.
Or something like a Vayne?
I mean,
I don't like the Vayne.
It's a lot of eggs in the Woolite basket, I feel.
It is.
I mean, like, he used to have problems with just, like, going full imp and just running into the enemy team and valking into them and just dying. But now he's generally been pretty good about that, like, in the Challenger series at least. So they also are able to buff him up. He's been a big carry for them multiple times. So I can see it. It's just weird seeing it so early into a rotation.
Yeah. I guess you want to deny the Janna going over.
Sure,
stop
with
the Lucian Janna presence.
and then you want to prioritize the Lulu. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And there's the Tristana lock-in as well, so Tristana and Rek'Sai for the jungle.
I don't know how much I like that. Just from a pace standpoint, right? Because we've got very quick games, and Tristana takes a while to get into the game. You're also against a Poppy and a Braum, and now two very weird champions that SK have locked in. Not super weird, but the Ryze is fine. That's Zac jungle coming from .go.
It is. We've seen one Zac game, I believe, in jungle in the EU LCS, and then multiple top lane from Freddy. Ryze makes sense because late game scaling to match up the Tristana, but then the Zac. I mean, Zac is good in the jungle because you have these gank paths that like are very difficult to judge because he just takes different ones than every other jungler.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to think about that in a second once the competitions get rounded out.
I feel like though this Ryze pickup does give a little bit of time over to Inspire just to get the Tristana working. It also gives you a threat against the Tristana later into the game if Trist ever jumps in on a Ryze without you know, chunking him down first. You kind of just blow him up. The Tristana won't be able to survive too much out of that. And if ever there was a protect comp, normally you'll see Shen with it as well. And that's exactly what we see out of this top lane. Second Shen, I believe, here in Challenger Series for the top lane.
And it was also from Sartorius.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he went Shen and then Shen and then Gragas.
Yes, yeah. He's been playing a lot of Gragas, playing different things to everybody else.
Yeah, I like the Shen top still, honestly. He still deals a bunch of damage. He doesn't have the Vorpal Blade to long range farm anymore, but like the ultimate's still there, the taunt's still there. But this is just an all-in on Woolite composition. I was like, maybe they'll run like an Olaf top, and then they'll have like, you know, 2 threats, like we saw in the LCS when they had like Oda sitting on like the Olaf, for example. But instead, no, it was actually Capishard. But yeah, it's very interesting. So it's all on Woolite.
Well, I mean, it should be fairly difficult for Woolite to die in this game, even in the late game.
If he does,
you have
then...
Rocket Jump, you've got the Lulu, you've got the Janna, you've got everything to protect him. On the other side from SK, though, they do have a decent setup when it comes to actually getting a fight started with the Zac. They have disengage from Braum as well. So this is a very weird set of champion select for the first game of this best of 2.
It is. Well, there are the full compositions on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Jump on Twitter, get it involved, and use the hashtags, hashtag SKWin and hashtag IEWin. I'll be seeing what you think about these compositions and where your heart lies as we get into game with SK against Inspire eSports. And these are some very interesting compositions. Once again, you see Morsu on Poppy go for the Corrupting Potion. Generally what you see on most Poppy starts. Suno going back onto the Sapphire Crystal as a start. This is something we used to see a very, very long time ago. Back when Rise essentially just scaled from mana more than AP than anything else, he would go for that one first, because it both gave him more damage and also more ability to spam spells. It's a little different nowadays, but we still sometimes see the build crop up. Yeah,
it's still something we see out of the mid lane builds on Rise. Slightly less prominent on top lane, but certainly still an option. The real effect of that is that it reduces your back timing the first time for tier fairly effectively, although sometimes we see Catalyst first, so either way, that first half of an item is picked up a bit quicker for the Rise.
Going for components always speeds up your item build. It's just about your early laning. However, you are against a Lulu, who is running teleport, so...
means she can auto-attack you to death, because she does have a fair amount of trading potential, but the actual kill pressure isn't there. So, let's watch this man go through the jungle. Zac means he shouldn't die this time in the early game. Doggo had a very unfortunate game last week on Nidalee. Didn't run any armor, and died to wolves. So, that shouldn't happen on Zac. Has the health regen from standing on the blobs. Has a fair amount of tankiness himself, although not early on.
Well, it's like last game when we saw Troven in the jungle on Nidalee and we called it a speed run. That's where you would reset after dying to wolves right halfway through the speed run. So kind of unfortunate from Dotco, but this time he should be fine. If anything, he'll pop into his passive, so there's more insurance against it this time.
That's a good point.
If the blobs start getting killed by the camp, it's fine, because Morsu can then teleport on top of the blobs, keep him alive, and save his allies.
That's why he picked it, man.
Yeah, 2 teleports as well.
Yeah, able to survive twice. Bottom lane trade, though, onto a Tristana Janna, so good luck with that. Does trade damage down. One of the ways of trading against the Janna, though, is you either wait out the shield, and just allow them to stand there with the shield before you engage, or you burst through it. So Braum Lucian is one of those lanes that can very quickly go through the shield from Janna. You just land that Winter's Bite, the follow-up, they're stunned in place, so you deal a massive amount of damage.
While we're talking about mechanics, and while I was joking about it, there's actually like a really dank play where you jump in the Zac, go into the passive, and then you teleport on the blobs with 2 people with teleport, and then you join the fight, and then you have 5 people down there. It's so there is that possibility. Alternatively, you can just use a pre-set-up ward.
Who made that play? I'm going to go in and die, and then you can TP on me.
Well, you don't die, because you go into passive, but then you come back together, and you dunk them with the double teleport play.
That's like the old frontline Karthus strats that you used to see, like very old CLG run. I think, was it like Hotshot to play like Karthus top?
Oh,
double tower shot onto Morsu.
He kind of got blocked there by the minions. He got nice positioning, so Morsu slammed his turret against the wall and then backed away. But yeah, they formed like a wall.
You shall not pass.
Yeah, the way minions work is they're kind of like Legos, so they like fit together. And when you see a wall of minions, you can't go through the Lego. You have to like go up and over or around.
There's just no mechanic for like stepping on them for making it incredibly painful.
It would hurt and you take damage, but you would escape.
I guess that's what the tower shots were, to be honest. But
stepping on the Legos.
That's actually fairly significant though. Like, having the minion block now force Morsu's flash in a matchup where you're melee versus melee with a taunt involved means that Morsu has to respect the possibility of ganks, but it's bottom lane.
Maxwell, the knock-up onto Unlimited. He may even be dropping here as Woolite lines the final auto-attack up on the E. Explosive charge is not quite enough damage. The heal had to be used by Vardags, though. Triple summoners in from the bot lane from SK versus one from Woolite. Zach was thinking of jumping over the one to Cosq, but he's a little too far back.
I want to go back to something you said, and ties into what we just saw. .go did not kill the tunnel from Maxlaw on purpose. Zach has a lot of ease getting into areas of the map where you know, the enemies haven't warded, so you can find these very obscure gank paths from areas that typically are in the dark and in the fog of war very quickly. This time, however, he is warded heading into the top lane. Sartorius will know he's there, but .go had Razor Sharp. He'll clear out that ward. Maxlaw's around as well, but what it allows him to establish is 2 deep wards to protect Morsu. And that was the whole thing about this play. .go goes Tracker's Knife, puts 2 deep wards, will now find the Rek'Sai, and Morsu knows exactly how he has to play this laning phase without flash for the next couple of minutes.
Sartorius actually landed a taunt combo onto Morsu before, even though Morsu had Steadfast Presence up and then popped it after the fact. That's why he managed to get a lot of poke onto Morsu. He had to burn through all of his stacks on his Corrupting Potions. So Sartorius just finding some nice angles up there. And once you get in a one-on-one trade with a melee laner in top lane, Shen just wins once he's got the taunt, because he has the extra damage from Twilight Assault. Mid lane note, Suno's dropping low, he's only level 5, and Cosq's level 6. Maxlaw looking to finish well with the Prey Seeker. Not quite enough damage here as .go comes in to fill in the blanks in the mid lane. And Sartorius uses the teleport to get back up the top. And everything is back still and quiet on the Summoner's Rift for 1 second while Sartorius goes onto Morsu. Again, too slow, the Steadfast Presence, and Sartorius gets another Twilight Assault through Morsu. So they're absolutely destroying the Puppy in the top lane. He'll have to go back.
Yeah, it's another situation where it's like this knock-on effect from Morsu losing that trade earlier. He hadn't really gone back to buy. Now he's gone and picked up that Balmy Cinder. But,
every time, and Morsu now walking into the minion wave while he had some aggro took a little bit more damage, and Sartorius is still level 6. Morsu just chugged through every single one of his Corrupting Potion stacks.
Wow, that's going to make this laning phase incredibly tough now. Those wards deep in the jungle are going to expire soon as well for him. So as soon as they lose track of Rek'Sai, Morsu has to give the utmost respect over to Inspire. He has to basically say, well, I can no longer be in this lane while my flash is not up.
Like, still down. 4 in a row, Sartorius lands the Shadow Dash, and this is an animation. He's doing it from max range. The last 3 have been from max range. There is time to reaction Steadfast Presence. The first one he couldn't, but Morsu has just been a little slow, honestly, and he's taking so much damage from Sartorius because of it.
Yeah, he really is having a tough time in this top lane. Like, it's now opening a CS lead as well, as you alluded to, with those potions gone. He's not able to sustain himself up in this lane. No teleport available. His flash is still down for another 15 seconds or so. So not like he's going to die in the next 15, but certainly Sartorius is up to level 7, has his ultimate available for a while now. Bottom lane, there is a trade, but nothing really is going to come of that. So this is a good start for Inspire, just from how they've put this Poppy behind. And remember, Inspire are running a composition that wants extra time to get into this game. They need to get the Tristana up to 2 items before she's really effective.
So, Vardags and Unlimited has traditionally been the weak spot of SK. Suno has been one of the shining lights, kind of keeping the team together, but has just kind of fallen a little too far behind in a lot of these games. It almost feels like this composition from Inspire is trying to exploit the fact that they feel their bot lane is so much stronger than SK's. They can snowball and then have this unkillable Tristana. But right now, he's just kind of even with the bottom lane. Vardags and Limited just holding their own, so they need to get a little bit more to make this composition work. .go is going to clear out this ward as Maxwell was just hanging out there. Denied the Raptors. Unlimited treading off here. Vardags with the ultimate will be blocked up a little by Wendelbow. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Oh, Maxwell once again in the jungle, and as the E used by .go, he'll smite the red to actually get the extra health here for the trade, but he just isn't having real damage to return onto Maxwell. Now that the Rise comes in, that's smited away by Maxwell. So he takes the red here. Yeah,
I mean, he was fighting Maxlaw and the red buff at the same time, so it's nice having that health come back to .go, but he just lost it all. Unlimited bot lane.
And the teleport from Sartorius in the top lane as well. Nice timing on the ultimate from Unlimited. Doggo is charging up and walks in, but is interrupted. Sartorius comes out with the nice E. And now, there are the blobs. There's no teleport. This is the problem, and he'll go down. First blood to Sartorius.
Oh, the bronze strats were not available right there for the TPing on the Zac blobs. Rek'Sai even goes top, and is just going to stop the push from Morsu as well. Really well worked, just utilizing the globals from Inspire, knowing they have the Shen ult up. Flash Monsoon kicks this one off from Wendelbo. Knows all he's got to do is get that Q. Was expecting it to hit Vardags, but remember, the double tap Q does not go the same distance it used to. Doggo, what actually denies him here? It was the taunt from Sartorius. Another nice taunt out from Sartorius' Shen. And that's no blob TPs available. Sorry, Pulse.
No.
Sorry.
But however, have those teleports been up? No, it still would have been bad. But
I want to go back to the point you made about the composition from Inspire.
Yeah.
Looking to exploit the weaknesses of SK. I would almost certainly say that that's the case. They say, hey, look, we don't think they're going to pressure us early because of how their laning phases have been the last couple of weeks. So let's just pick something that we know is going to at least go even for us because they're not going to pressure us, and then just take utility for the rest of the map. We have Rek'Sai to deal with any kind of side lane pushes. We have Shen to deal with any side lane pushes. And an extra teleport on Lulu. Like, I would agree. It's exactly what I think you need to do against SK because they've struggled to play multiple lanes.
Trying to exploit the weaknesses here. Wendelbo putting down another ward there. Just because he won't get a chance to before the next one expires, so actually nice timing. Sartorius, that is the 7th taunt that has just landed on Morsu in the one-on-one. And we'll just punish him again with Twilight Assault. It's so much damage. Yeah. And the last auto attack with Grasp of the Undying.
You know what? I say SK have struggled to play multiple lanes. I feel like it's a step worse than that. SK is struggling to play their own lanes.
Yeah.
Like, in almost every single game that we've seen, only really Suno has had impact in a laning phase. And even then, like, okay, so Morsu's been playing Tahm Kench and tanks, so there has been room for him, you know, to just go even on a lane, but it has been going really badly for SK the last few weeks.
Really badly. Still yet to net a win. Still at the bottom of the table with Mouse Sports. I would say they've shown maybe a little more than Mouse Sports, but not by much. Like, it's very difficult to differentiate. Almost with the still there, not quite yet. I know as an organization, they brought in like a new coach. They're just trying new things to try and just help this lineup. But so far, we're just seeing more of the same from previous weeks.
Yeah, I wonder, like, this. So the Zac pick is going to become prominent later. When I say late, I don't mean late game. I just mean when you're looking for engages. When you're looking for those team fight situations where you need to get into the backline, disrupt people, and allow Ryze to kind of take over. But will they get there?
Q may be called out. Will flash away. Sartorius did have the ultimate. Yeah, he's looking to re-engage here.
Can taunt flash if they want it, but no follow-up damage is available because it's all top lane. And this is all Inspire have to do. Is just push these outer turrets. Then the game turns into that ARAM style, and it's more difficult to actually put up with. But Inspire right now aren't doing anything inherently wrong in their movements across the map.
I can't tell if I like or dislike the fact that Q flashed away and continued running. Because when you have a Shen ultimate on you, the most annoying thing for a Shen is when you carry on running away and not drop you in range to taunt. But at the same time, they were 2v3, but SK were on the back foot and don't have the damage to deal with the Shen, and Maxwell was closing in. It was really like one or the other, depending on the call you make. It wasn't clear-cut in that scenario. But as a Shen player, it frustrates me. Doggo has found Wendelbo in the jungle as they're trying to invade. They won't get this one. Doggo thinks about charging up the elastic slingshot, but will think better of it. Maxwell jumps in, looks to try and take away the blue buff. Teleport now coming in from Sartorius. Lands it onto Suno. He should be able to pick up the kill here, and the Monsoon is not enough to help his allies. Vardags now being chased over by all the carries. Vardags will also fall, and now Warlight is just tearing everyone up. There's the double kill. And 3-for-0 over to Inspire, and their composition just turned online.
Morsu's running bot lane. Unlimited wasn't really in that fight for much more than an exhaust and his ultimate. And Vardags ran into a Shen taunt. He just ran straight next to a Ryze that was dying next to him, and is just like, hey, don't mind me, I'm coming past. That was just a really weird team fight from SK. good from Inspire to know that they can take that fight. But let's take another look at exactly the movements here. So Unlimited is smartly backing away. Like, he knows this isn't really a fight that they can take once this disengage comes through, so he has to actually cross through. But look at where Vardag's positioned himself, right next to Suno as he was dying. I mean, if that amount of damage is following up onto a Rise that was borderline Rod of Ages at that point already, like, that damage is coming to you next.
Yep.
Like, there's no way they go AD carry or jungle. We'll take the jungle.
It's not even like it's burst damage from Inspire. It's not even like they just blow everything and then it's just like, you don't have anything else now. It's sustained damage.
Yep.
So yeah, unfortunate there. And yeah, it's just weird. Maybe if he was playing top Lucian, where you go for like the anti-burst build.
I don't. It's kind of frustrating because it's not even like Woolite is gonna get not punished for going Infinity Edge first, but I don't think the downside of that is going to get felt in this game. Yeah. Because when you're already ahead, it's like, well, I finished an item that gives me these stats, and I've got a Janna giving me extra AD, and I've got my attack speed stim on my Q, and I have this resetting W. It's all good, it's fine, it doesn't matter what I build.
Correct. I would have liked to see him go rapid fire.
Yes, I would say the same. I'd like to have seen the attack speed item completed with the BF sword, as we've said time and time again. Yeah. But
we'll keep saying it
he has
because
got
it's
the
still
boots.
true.
He's got the boots, but...
He has. He's halfway there. But you're also getting like AD from that as well, and you get the crit, so it's like not as bad.
Yeah. That's what I mean, is like the small downside that is there isn't going to become evident, because there's a Lulu and a Janna in this game and a Shen. And the Shen is winning his lane, he's got Sunfire Cape, he's pushing in. Which means he can't trade it with Morsu under the tower, but Morsu's not under the tower to trade with him, so...
This is still the Shen dream, when you are 2-0-2 over your opponent, or ahead in farm, and are just pushing. You're just sitting in your lane, and Dokko goes for the engage, 5 versus 4. This is the opportunity they have. Sartorius does have Stand United, and doesn't even need to use it. 4 versus 5. Inspire repel the assault from SK Gaming. And Sartorius... he's just in the bottom lane.
He is. This is a 4 versus 5 still going this way. Dokko is going to look to engage here. Woolite is playing aggressive. That is ballsy. Like, that right there that Woolite did would normally get him killed if SK were confident enough to engage. Sartorius is still there. Not doing a lot of damage to that turret, but it's going.
He'll get it.
It's going. Tower in the mid lane has fallen. The Shen Dream would be the next step Deadman's Plate. At this point, like I'm just gonna run after you and deal damage.
No, the Shen Dream from here is Titanic Hydra. That is the Shen Dream. When you don't have to itemize against any of the big damage threats on the enemy team, and all you need is one item, you just go Titanic Hydra. It's like, and then you have to reevaluate and see if there's any more damage. It's like, no damage, Triforce.
I was gonna say, is Triforce the item that comes after?
And there you go, item build complete.
Well, Pulse, there's a pickaxe.
Well, we're there.
Man, if that actually goes to a Titanic Hydra, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
He kind of copped out. He went for the Spectre's Cow as well to, mitigate some of the damage from Suno and Dokko and Morsu.
I was gonna say, all he's gotta do is just against the Sunfire Cape.
But yeah, but he can leave it he can leave it as the Spectre's Cow and just go Titanic now.
Right. That's probably what I'm expecting to happen now. You can't see it, but Pulse just did that kind of, the stereotypical Italian chef. At the screen at this build. He's like,
so good.
This is what I would build to win in solo queue.
So much damage. Because the way Shen works and all the items he builds is raw health, you just get so much damage. It's fantastic. And you push waves so quickly with Sunfire Cape and Titanic and any Hydra item. You just like destroy waves, and because of the auto attack reset, it also applies on turrets. So you can auto attack reset, and then that damage also applies. So you start hitting turrets really quickly, and when you're in a game like this, where no one is contesting you, you just clear the wave, hit the turret, and you've gotten it.
One thing I want to look at is the item difference between supports. One support has Sightstone, and the tier 2 support item for gold generation, that is Braum. On the other side, there's an Aegis of the Legion on top of that for the Janna. The global gold that Inspire have had from the turrets, from the extra gold they've had from fights, just is allowing Wendelbo to go like, okay, well, I don't even need this gold generation item. I'm just going to buy an Aegis and stop this Rise, the Zac, any other magic damage that's coming from them.
Inspire are absurdly far ahead at 19 minutes.
Yeah.
And
with the late game scaling AD carry.
Suno just jumps on Warlight. He didn't receive any shields, any help from his team. He's still standing.
I mean, that does highlight a problem, though. That is the one area that Inspire have to be careful of, is Woolite getting caught or doing something silly or, you know, just no shields going on him. It's a team effort, but just make sure that Woolite stays alive. If Woolite stays alive, they theoretically win this game. Like, there's almost nothing that stops Woolite, especially once he gets his second item complete.
Usually in this situation, yeah, if like the AD carry dies, you're not in a good place, but with Shen building damage and Cosq sitting on a pretty decent amount of damage, also being significantly far ahead of his own mid laner, like they have this mid-game spike where they still have a lot of damage even without Warlight. Warlight is just, he's not even the crux of the composition anymore. He's just like he's the final nail in the coffin.
The other thing is you can see most of the vision control now is in favor of Inspire on the top side. They've got pink wards. There is one blue ward and another one up on the river from SK, but I mean, Inspire can just pull back and look to bait Baron. There is only one blue trinket on SK, and that is what is going to deter any kind of Baron bait attempt. Suno dropping way low.
Vardak steps up and still has this flash and heal, okay, but once your front line disengages and then you jump back in, that is just straight up a mistake. Like, now he has to go back with the Rise and they can't defend his turret. Inner turret goes down. Bot lane, Morsu is trading off with Sartorius. He went with Sheen. I don't know how I feel about that. But at this point, there's not much you can do anyway.
Morsu went with Sheen, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be Glacial Shroud would be the other option. But he's got...
Yeah.
Hang on. He's got... Okay, no, it's fine. I thought he was like... I was looking at his items being like, is that parts of a Triforce? And then realized Cloth Armor's not in there. It's okay. Yeah. I thought it was like... I was like, is he going Triforce Poppy? No, please don't go Triforce Poppy. It's happening, Pulse.
It is.
It's actually happening on the other side.
Jerom's fist.
Yeah.
I hope this game actually lasts to the point where he finishes it, because he's pretty close. He just needs one more back, but the game may actually end.
The dream.
Yeah.
And then Deadman's Plate.
I really hope the observers show me just him clearing a wave. Like, it's the best thing. I have a word for that, but I can't say it on broadcast.
Do I need to give you a moment if that happens?
Oh, yeah.
Because I, right now, taking a moment to clear out Baron. Getting themselves the Rift Herald Scuttler. Never done that one before. Never called the Rift Scuttler the Rift Herald.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I always do the other way around, but I've never done that one. Casual 21-minute 3-man Baron going on here.
Sartorius actually uses his Stand United to
one
go
blue trinket is up
here. They see
it,
but it's basically already dead. If I were SK, I'd be running away right about now.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Yep.
They are running.
Morsu is hanging around the mid lane, though. This is a little greedy. Be backing away now. He's okay.
I mean, this is... Like, honestly, this game is lose lane, lose game right now for SK. They're in a situation where if they let Inspire's team comp get to a point where the Tristana was ahead and the shields were just enough and the Poppy wasn't running wild on the Shen, like, that is how this game ends up. It's like... So this is a Rise against the Shen.
Yeah, it will take a while to resolve, but I believe the Shen is winning out. There we go.
Yep. That's, that just happened.
It's at the point in the game. Okay, gonna hold that for a second. Morsu, I think he's gonna knock away the minion wave. That's actually a good use of the Poppy ultimate, knocking away an entire minion wave. It actually stalls it out. Now falling back in from the jungle.
The minions are like, I don't know what
is coming in from the west with reinforcements. That's something you don't see very often. But
the front one's got like a map. It's like, I don't know where we're going.
All following the leader.
Before.
It's like the cannon minion leading is like a mother goose with like the chicks following.
If I take one more step, this is further than I've ever been before.
Yep. They're now just hammering away. This bottom tower is just absolutely like this game.
This is for like legitimately most of these pushes are like 4v5 or 3v4 at least, and like Inspire just going. Warlight's now tanking up towers. Those beam towers. Just Warlight say like, okay, I've got shields.
I would like to announce Sartorius has finished the Titanic Hydra.
He's mid. He's pushing
mid.
He is.
He's split pushing. Oh, the engage comes out. Morsu. He jumps onto Warlight, but there's still a lot of heal.
Oh, Max
the knock up mid-air onto Doggo. Warlight knocked into the team though.
Oh, no,
he may go down. There's the shutdown over to Morsu, but the chase continues. There's so much damage coming in from Sartorius. There's so much. He's just going to destroy Morsu here with the double kill. Now Doggo may be under attack, but he'll retreat to the fountain. And now this inhibitor should be going out, turning into rubble, and this game may be ending right here and now.
Sartorius needs to kill some minions just to show us.
He does. He used it on the tower, so you can see the tower destroying potential. Just ignore the other 3 people hitting the tower. Doggo jumping into this. This may be a defense. Unlimited respawns. Vardag's up in 7. The minion wave's still there, and IE decide to back off.
Yeah, Sartorius, if he stepped forward, that Sunfire Cape was just going to deal, well, aggro the tower too quickly. But, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. Because this game is so far gone right now. Like, this is what we mean by normally if an AD carry dies in a protect the AD carry comp, that should signal a one-team fight for the enemy. But it didn't even matter. Like, Vardags, Morsu, Suno, all on top of each other. So it means every time Sartorius is just dealing damage, it's just cleaving all of them. Like,
I'm telling you, man, it's the future. All right, so it looks like he is finishing off the Spirit Visage now. I believe the next item after that, if it gets there, will be the Triforce. And then probably finished by like Dead Man's Plate or something.
I hope it's a...
That would be the item build complete. Morsu has gone for the Iceborne Gauntlet. A full item behind his counterpart.
So, I know I'm talking about Dead Man's Plate. There's actually one on Rek'Sai now. And we probably won't get to a point where we see it on Shen. Relevant, it's fine. My favorite thing about Dead Man's Plate,
what's that?
Is it came out of the Bilgewater game mode. That was the best thing. Like, people forget that. This is an item that was just like, let's do something crazy. How about a tank item that when you hit people after running a lot, it does a lot of damage. Turns out it fit quite well into the game, and now is like a staple buy on most junglers.
Yes.
I like it.
Just need to wait for Puppeteer now. That was a fantastic item.
No, what we need is the dagger. The
Mirage?
The Mirage Blade, yeah.
That was broken. Morsu momentarily jumped into the enemy team and...
denied.
Tick, tick, dead. Woolite picks up the kill onto Morsu. Sartorius has not even joined the fight yet. The top inhibitor is going down, and this defense from SK is not going to last for very long as the last tower falls. Vardags is already chunked going into this last fight, and Inspire just want the win right here. There's the ultimate coming in from Doggo, but he simply does not have the damage. Following Sartorius, he'll be heading on to Suno. The damage, he will absolutely delete him, even though the kill went to Cosq. All of that came from Sartorius, and this will be the Nexus going down. Inspire pick up the win against SK Gaming.
And made that look really, really simple for them. They won their lanes, they won the game. Like the 21-minute Baron from Inspire just... I mean, it just sealed the game. Like, the only kill SK got was that last kill on Woolite in the bottom lane team fight.
Well, I mean, they got him.
They got him.
Like, they identified what they needed to do, which is kill the AD carry, which the team comp was built around, killed him, but then the game was too far gone, so everyone else did damage as well and 4v5 them. But it was at the point where they were like 4v5ing in mid and lost, and Shen was just by himself in bottom lane. Like, the game is just essentially done. And as you said, they won the lanes, and from there they just closed out very well. They grouped up and just pushed their advantage.
Because SK were relying on somewhat of their bottom lane in the early game just to go even at least. Like, make sure that you can then just stop the Tristana ever getting to a relevant point by just always being ahead from global gold that you get from the Lucian, from just, you know, moving around the map as a pack. They just could never get to that point because the Tristana ended up getting ahead from the laning phase. I mean, Morsu had a little bit of that unfortunate situation top lane where he was forced to flash very early on from getting blocked, and that snowballed his lane away from him. I do think that maybe looking at the way Morsu was denying trades after that, I feel like that could have ended up that way, but having the flash down just accelerated it, exacerbated that problem. There were a lot of issues for SK, but a lot of good things for Inspire. I mean, Inspire with a team comp that's difficult to pull off in this matter and making it work very quickly.
And it definitely seemed like they were just trying to punish the weaknesses from SK. Like, Vardags Unlimited is probably one of the weakest lanes that we have in the European Challenger Series right now. Maybe alongside, like, Tarek as well. Like, his lane is usually losing. But if you can exploit a lane and then build a composition around it, like, that's just perfect. I really just like the preparation coming in from Inspire. I'm not sure if it will work 2 times in a row because now we can see bans and target bans. Maybe they have something else, but it just looks so clean from Inspire.
It did. It did look very clean. I mean, you compare their setups to like the likes of a Millennium, the likes of a Huma. It just seems like night and day when you look at them.
Well, anyway, that's one more game in the history book, so stick with us. We need to take a quick break, but we will be back in 3.5. Second Morsu, I think he's going to knock away the mini wave. That's actually a good use of the Puppey ultimate, knocking away an entire mini wave. It actually stalls it out. Now pulling back in from the jungle.
The minions are like, I don't know what is
coming in
this
from the
place?
west with reinforcements. That's something you don't see very often. But
the front one's got like a map. It's like, I don't know where we're going.
All following the leader.